Hello, and welcome to episode 213 of Film Night. My name's Richie,
My name's Jack.
And my name's Joe.
and in today's episode, we're talking about Ridley Scott's Napoleon. With us also this week is returning special guest star Matthew Patrick Chives Cartmell.
Hey.
Good morning, gents. Good afternoon, even. How are you?
Good evening.
Yeah,
Great
good
to have you
evening.
back on the show.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Been really busy, actually. So I'm sick of this cold weather. I've got a bad back at the minute as well. So
Oh.
Yeah.
sick of a bit of cold weather, I'm afraid.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to Lisbon next week.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
lovely.
Yes.
Right.
What, just
Is
a
it-
little...
Yeah, just a little,
What's that
just
for?
a little trip,
Yeah,
or
like a long weekend with my new girlfriend.
Oh,
nice.
brilliant. Very nice.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
So it's decent. Yeah. Looking forward to Me and him are looking forward to it. It should be good fun. So
Yeah, cool. All right.
If winter sun.
So.
Yes, he's not wrong, though, is he? I mean, it's Baltic out there.
It's
Um,
freezing. Absolutely freezing. I think it's like was -2 this morning, was it? -2.5,
Yeah.
the car said.
Very
It was only
cold.
I think it was only last week I was saying it's mild for this time of year. And then very
You
next
cursed
day, I
it,
think it dropped right down. Yeah.
That's how it goes.
So it goes.
Okay. Well, how's everyone else doing? Sorry, before we.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Very
good,
good.
thank you.
Yeah.
Not too much to report. I'm just trying to think then, a bit of trivia, film like trivia. When was Matthew Chives Cartmell's last episode?
Was it the 200th
It might, yes, it would have been. Yeah.
last time you were on? When an episode in which I think you first brought up Napoleon and that you were very excited to see it.
Right, yeah. And also Gladiator 2, which is coming out next year.
Yes, that's right. Ridley Scott seems to really be pumping them out.
Yeah.
It is crazy. 85 years old.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's that's good. We'll get you back on for that one as well then.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get into this week's review, there's been a recent release of a new reality show, the Squid Game based reality show. I can't remember. It's got a like a subtitle after it. I can't remember what it is.
The challenge.
Oh, okay. Squid Game: The Challenge. Yeah, I decided to check this out. I wasn't really sure what to make of it beforehand.
yeah, because we all did watch the show, didn't we? The original.
yes. Is that true of you as well, Chives?
Yeah. So I've seen that. I wasn't really sure what to make of it because I don't really like ad-libbed movies and stuff like that. So
Dubbed.
Oh, is that what it is?
Ad-libbed.
I was well confused then.
Yeah, dubbed movies.
or subtitled ones. You could have watched it with subtitles if that would have appealed more.
Oh yeah, what you should have done that. Dubbed is awful.
Yeah.
But it was quite good. I was recommended by someone from work at the time. So
Yeah,
it was
fair
like
enough.
it.
I really enjoyed that show. Yeah.
But yeah, so now there's this new reality show, and I've watched it, and I know that Chives has watched it as well. What did you make of it, Chives?
Yeah, I actually liked it. I thought I was a bit disappointed to start with this. It made me sound like a bit of a ghoul, actually, but I actually like a bit of death and slaughter from the first one. Before we get their heads blown off like that.
So you
made a crack in a bit of biscuit or something. So
yeah.
um,
So you sort of went in expecting
yeah,
Actual death.
to
He wanted
I
actual
wanted-
death.
murder
yeah,
people.
see people, yeah, but
You thought you thought we are living in a dystopian society right now, and that's what I've come to expect.
yeah. So,
But-
but
okay.
There's some more episodes coming out, isn't there?
Yeah. They released like what, half of it, and then,
Oh, have they?
yeah, and I was sort of
Okay.
wondering why that. Well, I wasn't really wondering why that was, but I was like a bit like, ugh, why have they done that? But I guess it makes sense because then they can release a few episodes and get people talking about it without everyone just spoiling like who won
Yeah.
or whatever.
I actually
That's
think
true.
it's today's the 29th. I think they come out on the 29th.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll probably get back on it then. Because yeah, I actually started off kind of hate watching it. And not really liking it. I was sending messages to you boys sort of talking about how ridiculous it was and how everyone was being it's just so dramatic for no reason about this thing. Like that, it was quite insane. They were all acting as though they were actually dying when playing these games, and so it was sort of making me laugh, but like at the like preposterousness of the show.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of kept on watching and started getting into it less ironically.
Okay. Does it follow like? Does it start to focus in on certain contestants,
Yeah.
or does it? Or okay, so all right, okay.
Yeah, it does. It'll focus in on it'll kind of make 2 or 3 people like main characters for a bit until they're just eliminated or whatever. And so it manages to hook you in that way. And as it goes on, the sort of like dramatics of it all, it's still like ridiculous, but it starts to make a bit more sense because, you know, in the first episode, everyone's being really dramatic and crying over like people leaving or something, and it's just like, you've only just like got here, you don't know these people, you like, there's 400 other people in this competition. Do you really think you're going to make it? But as it goes on, you know, the people start to spend a bit more time with each other, so it makes a bit more sense, like the rivalries and
I wonder in real time how long it is.
Yeah, I wonder how long it takes them to film it. I mean, it's a big prize pot as well, isn't it? What is it, $4.3 million?
$4.56 million dollars in representing the I think it was 4.56 billion or 45.6 billion.
Yeah, because it was like 10 some
in the actual show, and because it's 456 players as well, so yeah.
Impressive.
Well, sorry, I'm sorry, it's quite distracting.
Chives has just disappeared for a second.
Right. Absolutely mincing charge.
I know what I was going to ask. Are each of the games are they taken straight from the show, or is there some new games that we haven't seen before?
There's some new games that we haven't seen before.
Okay.
They also do the older games.
Yeah.
There was a couple of episodes where there like weren't any games happening, and I started to get a bit pissed off with that. Did you feel that way, Chives?
Yeah, a little bit. No, I did actually think it was all right, to be fair. No, it was good. Like the games were good, but also it brought you in different surprises as well. So when everyone thought it was going to be the tug of war one,
I remember that one.
They actually changed it to a non-physical one.
I liked that.
That was quite clever.
They've done really good ways of tricking people. The kind of cliffhanger of the last episode as well, which I won't say if you boys are like interested in saying it, but I presume you know what I mean, Chives. You know when they're having the picnics.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really good trick as well. I mean, I kind of saw it coming a bit of a mile off, but none of the contestants seemed to. I don't know how. Like scripted.
The best thing with something like that is you just need to keep yourself anonymous and not be seen to be in any alliances or anything.
That's definitely true, and
don't draw attention to yourself.
That's definitely true, and a few people have figured that out. But there were a lot of people that just didn't seem to get that at all, and just just sort of like made as much noise as possible, and then obviously got targeted.
Yeah,
but it's good. I do like the contestants, how they're all sort of turning on each other and coming up, having these little rivalries, kind of like they did in the actual show. So I am getting into it now, and
I'm intrigued, definitely.
Well, I'd say getting into it. I'm into it now and just actually enjoying it. It still makes me like, but it's like trying to make you have those kind of over the top reactions, isn't it? Of like,
yeah.
But
so I guess like each game is different, but like how many will drop out? Is it like a lot get eliminated every game, or is it only a few? Like, I guess it depends on what sort of game.
Depends on the game. Depends on the game, yeah. And they also have added these like little like tests in there as well, where people can get opportunities to eliminate other contestants, which on one hand is kind of unfair, but it does also make for, again, more things they can do in terms of rivalries and stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I'm definitely intrigued. I wasn't at all. And then hearing this, and then some people at work have been talking about it and saying it's quite good. So
Yeah,
I might give it a go.
Give it a watch.
And then I presume season 2 of the actual drama are they still doing that, or have they just focused all their energy onto this now?
No, this is done by someone else. I mean, it's still Netflix, obviously, but
yeah,
it's not the same people involved in this that would be making. Yeah. I don't think, anyway.
I am hoping there's going to be a season 2.
There is.
It's taking a while on it, aren't
they?
But
I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, you would have thought they would have tried to like not rush it out, but because it was an absolute, it was the hottest thing going, wasn't it, at the time?
During lockdown as well, wasn't it? It was like 2020 when it came out? I mean, 3 years.
2021, I think.
Was it 2021?
Yeah. So you would have thought they would have tried to jump on that kind of popularity and get the next one out, but
I don't want them to do that. I'd much rather.
No.
I think it took quite a long time for the guy to make it. The guy who made it.
That's true. I remember that. Yeah.
I think it took a long time for it to make the first series. So.
Yeah.
So that's the Squid Game reality show. It is a little bit. There's something a bit kind of gross about it. It's a bit off because it really. I know I'm not really saying anything original here, but it's obviously sort of goes against the idea of the entire show to even make this.
Yeah. It is ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, does that bother you, Matt, at all?
No, not at all. No, it's fine. I mean, I'm looking forward to the season 2 of it, but it's not the best thing on the planet, that's for sure.
No,
it's a bit stupid, really. Is it actually real? Is it actually real? Do you actually win the money?
What, this reality show?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I presume so. They said so.
It's not so stupid then. Oh.
Are you thinking of applying next time they do it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You'd be actually amazing on it, Chives. I would love to watch that.
They need an obstacle course, don't they? They need a Squid Game obstacle course where you can go in groups.
Well, like an escape room.
Like an escape room, but you have to do every challenge.
I'd be really up for giving it. I'd be definitely up for giving it a go.
That would be amazing.
As long as you don't die.
Chives, how would you rate your chances if you went on the show? How far do you reckon you'd get?
Oh yeah, good question.
I wouldn't get that far, actually. I reckon.
Really?
No, because I know someone would do me over.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I just know I would upset someone, and then I'd get it back. So it'd just be. I'd have poor luck as well, so it'd just be bad.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's the Squid Game reality show. So, yeah, I'd recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. It's sort of similar to other reality shows, really. But shall we get on to the main event of the episode, boys?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. Yeah, this week we are reviewing Napoleon, which is directed by Ridley Scott, and it stars Joaquin Phoenix, Vanessa Kirby, Tahar Rahim, Ben Miles, and John Hollingworth. The synopsis is a personal look at the French military leader's origins and swift, ruthless climb to emperor, viewed through the prism of Napoleon's addictive, volatile relationship with his wife and one true love, Josephine. What did you three think of Napoleon?
Come on, guest.
I think we need to get to Matthew first.
Yeah, I'll see what you thought, Chives.
I tell you what, so I thought it was like I was really looking forward to it, and it's that the storyline is like there are a lot of historical inaccuracies in it and stuff like that. But
I had read that.
Yeah, there are. But there are. I thought the costumes and the battle sequences were absolutely unbelievable. But I felt there was something missing. I still can't put my finger on it, but the more I think about the film, because I did think it was a great film, it's something that you need to rewatch as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not sat down in one seat. So maybe 2 hours 38 minutes long.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know if you know this, Chives, but there's also an extended 4-hour cut coming.
Director's cut, yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, no, I won't be watching that. But,
okay.
But it was a good film. it was great individual acting. I don't think she was the first choice. It was actually Jodie Comer who was the first choice.
Oh, really?
Empress
That's
Josephine.
interesting. That's interesting.
But she couldn't do it because there was COVID during the COVID period. She had a big rescheduling, so she couldn't fit in the new project of Napoleon.
Right.
So Ridley Scott was actually Jodie Comer's first choice to play Empress Josephine, but she couldn't because she had to fit in other stuff that she would initially committed to. So they went with Vanessa Kirby.
Because she was in his previous film. I didn't see it, but it's called The Last Duel, I think.
Right.
Okay. It was like her with Matt
That's
Damon.
not his previous film. That's like almost 3 films ago. That one now.
Is it? Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was her, Adam Driver, and Matt Damon. I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. But yeah, no, did not know that.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that either, and that's interesting to know because I thought Vanessa Kirby was really good.
I did. Josephine. Yeah. I like her quite a lot.
Yeah.
Did you think she was or?
Vanessa Kirby, yeah. No, it was very good. No, like as I said, like the individual acting was really good, I thought. But there was some big names in there. There's a lot of people who are solely British actors in there as well, and actresses.
Yeah, a lot of recognizable faces.
Yeah.
So no, it was it was good. There's not. I just wonder if Ridley Scott tried to fit too much into the storyline.
I agree.
Oh,
okay. Kind of lost his way.
This is one of my biggest criticisms, actually.
Okay, all right. Let's get into this then. Like what?
Do you mean
what sort of thing?
I just feel like
sorry.
So there was 6 or 7 massive major battle sequences.
Yeah.
And I just think that like they rushed through quite a lot of stuff.
Yes, that's true.
The trailer was also, I think because the trailer was so good. I also anticipated what a lot of stuff was going to happen. I mean, I didn't actually know about the Battle of Austerlitz. I'd never heard of that before, but I knew what was going to happen there because I'd seen it in the trailer.
Yeah,
which was a bit annoying because that would have been good cinema. That if it
is that the one with the ice?
Ice, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
that was a great one.
I knew they were all.
I don't think I even properly watched the trailer.
The ambush, yeah.
Because that one I thought was really effective battle sequence, and I loved that whole scene. So yeah, I guess if I had seen that in the trailer, that would have been a bit annoying.
I do agree with Matt's point there because I just felt because it's obviously tried to cover his entire, right from when he was just an officer, rose to, I can't remember the exact order, but eventually becomes emperor. Then he's on top, and then he falls away again. And I do think it would have been perhaps a better film if it had tried to just laser in on maybe a few years or maybe just the rise and not the fall, or maybe just the fall, like rather than try and fit in the entire story of Napoleon, because it is a lot. It's a lot to get at.
I'll try and counter this because I very much enjoyed this film. Thought it was great, but and I think what I'll say is that instead of it zeroing in on like a few years to sort of analyze those, where I saw it, what I saw it doing was sort of zeroing in on his relationship with Josephine and it being more focused in on that. And so the other things are sort of happening, but they're less focused on that. And I liked that it did that. I was really invested in
I think
that element of it.
I think now that you say that, I actually think the opposite of that. I actually think they should focus more on the battle sequences and sort of some of it and how significant those events were in history. I mean, they could have played a bit more with like the invasion of Russia. So when Moscow was burnt to the ground by Tsar Nicholas I, I think, when I was burnt to the down, that was really damning that for the for alliances in and around Europe at the time. And then also the sequence that was filmed in Morocco, where they did the pyramids. I mean, that's just a complete fabrication when the Napoleon shot at the pyramid. That just didn't happen.
I saw something because this is something that I'm not knowledgeable on really at all. I don't know
This is why we've got you on. This is why we've got you on.
I'm rubbish when it comes to most historical facts. So I was a bit hesitant going into this film because I was sort of thinking I don't really know this well enough, so I feel like that might sort of have an effect and might a lot of things go over my head. Yeah. So obviously the historical inaccuracies and the historical inaccuracies.
Put your teeth in.
Yeah, thank you. Also, they just didn't really sort of register for me. But I had read about that one, and I think I saw. I don't know how true it is, but it was like Ridley Scott just sort of responded with just like, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Oh, I thought, yeah, he's been quite defensive. He's had a lot of criticism come his way about those sorts of things. And the quote I read from him was, he said, were you there? No. So like, almost
right,
like,
but surely he's just sort of being
he's
like
very defensive,
purposefully like.
He doesn't need to be defensive though, because we all know that when you make a film, you have to, you're going to chop and change the truth a bit, aren't you?
Based on true events, we all know what that means.
Yeah, but is he just being defensive, or is he just sort of trolling and just sort of being purposefully
maybe I don't know,
insane about it? Because like, what kind of response is that to that?
He might just be
obvious historical inaccuracy to just be like, yeah, were you there? Like, it sounds like he's just being like sarcastic.
Yeah, maybe.
That's how I read it, but I could be completely off there.
He might have been, to be fair. But
to do it more justice, I suppose, with Napoleon, they should have actually shown more about like the dissolution of his armies, because that was very personal with Napoleon. Because as much as a military genius he won a lot of stuff because he was very happy with sacrificing hundreds of thousands of his own men.
Yeah, those numbers at the end were crazy.
Yeah, and it didn't really talk a huge amount about his alliances as well.
I'd say there was some hintings of that kind of stuff, wasn't there? It didn't really focus in on them. But so I mean, I would just say that I guess he's just trying to do something else and is more interested in focusing on the other stuff, which
do you know what that? Yes, I do take that point, and I think it's a good one, to be fair, because yes, everything was kind of looked at through the prism of that relationship, and that was the central point. And I agree. I did enjoy, but I thought both of them were great. First and foremost, I thought Joaquin Phoenix and Vanessa Kirby were brilliant. Lots of humor in there, which I didn't actually expect from a film.
There was quite a lot of humor.
Yeah, between the two of them, it was, and it worked really well. Actually, I was chuckling along to some of the kind of childlike, dry wit that Joaquin Phoenix had, and that all worked really well for me. So that's a good point. But yeah, I did enjoy this film quite a bit. I totally agree with Matt's point. It looked incredible. The battle sequences were so impressive.
Agree.
Because of course, when you're creating a battle sequence like that, obviously a lot of it is going to be CG, and they've extended the battlefield using CG, but you could also see like how many extras there were, and the production must have been huge sets. I think I heard that the whole film was shot in like something like 60 days or something. Like,
yeah. Well, for the siege of Toulon, 1793. So when at the start, when he had the horse shot.
Oh yeah, that was brutal.
He was riding into battle.
I was just about to bring that up. I love that shit.
Yeah. And then he picked the cannonball out of it.
Yeah. That was an awesome scene.
Gave it to his mate. Hey, our son.
Yeah.
That was.
That's what I should have said.
That sequence there was filmed at Fort Riscoli. That's in Malta. So Fort Riscoli is in Malta. And it's an old ruin in Malta, and that's where that sort of acted as the siege of Toulon.
Okay.
That's where that was filmed. And then you had a lot of stuff filmed. I think, was it Blenheim Palace, or there was a big...
I think I read that.
And then there was another one...
where were they for the...
Salisbury Cathedral became the Notre Dame. or something like that. But they
Alright.
did it. It was under a working title of Kit Bag, not Napoleon.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I remember
Makes
that.
sense.
It was. Yeah, well, I think it was originally actually called. I don't think it was working title. I think they were going to call it Kit Bag.
Well, actually, yeah, it was going to be called Kit Bag. The working title was Marengo, after the Battle of Marengo.
All right.
Okay.
So, which obviously wasn't shot in the thing.
Hmm.
And they didn't shoot the Battle of Wagram either.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all that was really, really impressive, and great to watch. Just a thrill, but yeah, it just didn't. I don't know. I'm kind of similar to you, Matt. I can't quite put my finger on what it was, but it didn't quite hit the heights that I was going in hoping for.
That's a shame. Because for me, it really excelled sort of what I was expecting.
Yeah, I don't know. The performances were great. I think I would have liked for it to delve a bit deeper into the character. Like, I know it's a bit of a cliche thing to say, and it's a bit like of an obvious sort of criticism to have, but I think because of the pace of everything and because it was flying through battle, we didn't really get to see too much about him as a person away from the battlefields.
I thought that's what you were just arguing about, that there was too much of that. That's
too much of what?
Of like, well, not too much of him. That's what I was just saying, because it's focusing in on his relationship with
the relationship. The relationship, yes, but I just mean, what drove him? Like, why was he kind of the way that he was?
I get what you mean, Jack.
I just don't feel like it had a. I don't know.
It was very battle orientated, wasn't it? I mean,
it
wasn't battle orientated.
No, yeah.
It was more focused on his relationship.
Yeah.
That's
what I think.
Check a relationship. I mean, it would have been. I actually think he'd have been better off, Ridley Scott, not necessarily focusing on Empress Josephine and their relationship, but also on how he treated his peers, how he treated his own soldiers, how he treated civilian populations when he actually occupied these cities. And I think that would have given you more of a telling of the inside of his personality.
Yeah, no, I'd probably agree with that. Yeah. I think what I mean is there were so many battles. Like the proportion of the film, I understand where Jack's coming from, because
but they were all really short and not really. They weren't apart from Waterloo, which was a bit more extended than the others.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah,
I think.
But
I understand where Jack is coming from, though, because I feel like the storyline it just had gaps in it for me. I think it just didn't. I agree with Matt. Like, it should have delved deeper. I agree with all of you, really. I think with the Empress Josephine bits, I enjoyed them, and then it got to a point where it was all about having a son. And then when he had the son, we didn't hear anything else about the son.
What else do you want to hear about it?
Well, what happened later?
The milkman.
It was literally like, you've had a son, right? Okay, that's it, sort of thing. It just didn't seem. I don't know.
I enjoyed it because it was it was about because it was about those two characters, and it was about the fact that she wasn't able to give him a son.
But so much.
So that really was the end of that sort of storyline, because it wasn't. It wasn't about him getting a son. It was more about the fact that he couldn't with her.
Yeah, I get that. I just think I agree with Jack. I mean, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I thought visually it looked fantastic. Soundtrack wise, amazing. No expense spared at all. Great lead performances. Acting was on point. Like, you can't fault it in that respect. It just lacked something. It just didn't meet what I thought I'd come out feeling a lot more hyped about it than actually what I was.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted a bit more of an emotional kind of hook. Like, it wasn't very nuanced. It wasn't very subtle. Like, okay, we did see some quieter scenes, and I loved all the dinner table. I loved all the fancy banquets, and when there was loads of, like, he was at one end of the table, she was at the other. That kind of the room was just full of tension. Loved all those scenes, but yeah, I just wanted something to kind of.
The whole thing, I have to agree that the whole thing
I
was rushed. It was like desperately trying to get through so many things one after the other.
Yeah,
I have to agree with that. That was true. That's definitely true. But I don't know. I kind of liked it's maybe a bit silly, but I like that. For me, it got everything across. And maybe that's down to my own ignorance again. But I do feel like
I think
that it managed to get across what it was trying to from my perspective. Even though everything was just okay, now we're in fucking like 1801 now, and then 2 seconds later we're in 1810 or something. Wasn't quite as drastic as that, but it was
I've got a question, Matt. You might be able to answer this. What happened to his brother,
Lucian?
So his brother was like in charge, wasn't he, for a time? And then did I miss that? Did the film touch on that? What happened? 1 minute he was in charge and he was second in command, and the next minute, like, the brother's out of the picture completely. We didn't, and I don't think we heard anything else.
There was a scene.
His main military confidant was someone called Marshal Ney, and he was the one shouting all the orders.
Mm-hmm.
Behind him, he's actually the guy. He's actually the guy who plays Lord Porchester in season 3 and 4 of The Crown.
Yeah, but I think Pat's asking when did Napoleon go from being second in command to his brother or something to then being first in command,
king or emperor.
Which I think there was a scene. There was a scene where he's talking to his brother and the brother asks him to lead on something or give him advice or something, and then he says, "Well,
Paul
I want." Sorry.
Paul Barras was the one that personally asked Napoleon. I don't think he ever asked Lucien Bonaparte. Was never ahead.
Are you talking about in real life history, or are you talking about in the film?
I'm talking about in real life history.
Okay, I think. Are you asking about in real life history, Joe? Or are you asking about the film?
I was asking about the film. 1 minute.
Oh, right.
1 minute.
So this is why we're getting confused here, because there's historically inaccuracies all over.
So so here we go. So that's
too knowledgeable about it.
That's the point, then, isn't it? I mean, like, I don't know how far can you go with historical inaccuracies before it becomes a, surely
it depends how much you know about it going in, doesn't it?
Well, exactly. Yeah, it does.
And maybe what you're trying to convey.
And what you're trying to convey. Across. Yeah, I mean, like, so in the film,
do you want an entertainment film, or do you want a documentary here?
Yeah, I don't mind it because I mean, I want you have to have both. I don't think for it to be
a bit of both, but there has to be some creative license taken.
Yeah. No, I didn't have an issue with it. Obviously, I don't have the knowledge that Matt does, so I wasn't able to kind of go, "Oh, that didn't happen." And
it's definitely true that if I like was more read up on this sort of shit, then
it might have been an issue.
That might have been a more, it would take me back a bit watching something that I know didn't happen.
I've got a question that I was wondering, and I don't know if Matt you'll be able to answer this. It's like Ask Matt session. How do the French, like modern day French people, how do they view him? Is he a hero to them? Is he a bit of a...
That's a good question. I'm not going to guess on that. So I don't like to guess. I mean, I don't actually know because
you're not French.
I don't actually know a lot of French people, and I certainly don't talk to them about Napoleon. That's what so I'll be guessing there.
That's fair. I'd like to know though.
I think they find him. They find him. Just.
I wonder if they get taught about him in schools.
This is another good question. I don't know because I mean, you look at people like Francis Drake, and you look at people like Duke of Wellington, and like famous people in our history. And I mean, did we really discuss those people a lot around the same time at school?
No,
not really, did we? No.
Do you know what I mean? Lord Drake basically conquered the world. You ask anyone, they were literally 99.95% of the population would actually know who Francis Drake is. Do you know what I mean? But because I think the thing is with Napoleon, because the whole thing just fell apart. As well. So ultimately he was proven to be a fool.
Yeah, that's something that surprised me actually, was actually the time frame, because from when he was when he like from the start of the film, what was it, 1790 something, to the end of the film, what was the year when he was exiled? Like 18
he died
20-ish?
he died in 1823.
Said it was.
Okay.
It said it was 6 years after he was exiled
Yeah.
for the second time, wasn't it?
So his whole kind of career was actually quite short. I kind of
Yeah.
but
But
I had no
his
idea.
campaigns. I mean, this is a man that walked. I think it was about 450,000 men across Europe.
Yes.
And then when he got to Moscow, he then decided to march all the way back to Prussia in the middle of the Russian winter, which was portrayed in the film. Which
It was.
I thought they should have portrayed the actual, the more of the granular detail of how these of the conditions that these men had to endure.
It's just it's inconceivable, isn't it?
Much more of an insight. I mean, you'd have had people who would have been sleeping in a tent. We're not talking. This is a tent made of fabric. No such thing as a sleeping bag in those days. It was just basically a blanket on your back, lying there, and they'd have been frozen solid. You had to thaw them out to even do an autopsy on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're literally frozen solid, dead in the morning.
It is unbelievable to think about.
If they go into a bit more granular detail like that, then that would give you more of an insight into how this guy decided he was going to march on. Because
but it's crazy how
it's tough, because there is so much to his life, isn't there? There's so much.
Yeah, there is a
stuff
lot
to cover there. I mean, the film is, as you say, it is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and who knows, maybe the 4-hour film will go into all that kind of detail that you want.
I will tell you, House Bonaparte still exists, though.
Who?
House Bonaparte still exists to this very day. House Bonaparte is like a house. So, like, you saw the Duke of Wellington portrayed in the film. So
yes,
we have a Duke of Wellington now. I mean, we're on about our 18th Duke of Wellington or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's the same with them. You have Lord Bonaparte. There is actually a Lord Bonaparte who's like his great grandson.
Oh, so there's a current Lord Bonaparte.
Yeah. So it's I think there's like, because it's so it's very old feudal medieval shit, really.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, Richie, about the 4-hour thing, because even though I have no interest really, maybe it actually is.
Sounds like it's what you're asking for.
It does kind of sound like what I'm asking for.
Yeah, see what they cut out.
Because one of my major criticisms was how it rushed through everything, and maybe it wouldn't feel like that if. I mean, to you, Richie, did it feel long? Or was it fine? Like, because I really felt length on this one.
No, it didn't. I didn't feel that way about it. I suppose the only time would have just been at the end. I was just sort of wondering how much more is there left to go here. But that was about it, really. Okay. I was really engaged, and was really enjoying it, and I loved all the directions it took, and I liked what it was focusing on. So yeah,
did anyone have an issue with, or were they surprised that Joaquin Phoenix just spoke his normal accent? Like, I'm not saying I would.
Not just him. Most of them did.
Yeah, most of them. It was a little bit off-putting at times.
Well, what else are you suggesting? Because the only other two options
this is what I was going to say.
He just speaks in an accent which wouldn't make any sense,
and either.
He speaks in French.
Yeah, I know.
Which I'd have been fine with, but it doesn't appeal to the masses, so there's no way they're going to do that.
Yeah, no, it's not a criticism. It's just like, I don't know, because if he's not good at a French accent, then it would have been even worse. So.
Well, if he'd spoken in a French accent, it would have been. I think it would have been more jarring, because I'd have just been thinking the entire time, why aren't you speaking in French to these French people?
Yeah.
Whereas the fact that they didn't even go that step makes me just think, okay, they're just speaking in their normal way, and I'm just supposed to use my what's the phrase? Suspend my disbelief and just imagine that they are speaking in their foreign tongue,
native
tongue. So I'm fine with it. At
Yeah,
first
no.
it was it took me notice when it first started, but I was like, okay, yeah. It's like they did the same thing in that Chernobyl
Yeah, you can get over it.
TV show.
Oh, okay.
But I think it would have been more jarring if he was just speaking in a French accent.
I agree. Actually,
even if it was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if
I'm having a look now. So they're on their 8th head of House Bonaparte.
Cool.
How old is the current incarnation?
This it's disputed between this guy's father and this guy's son.
Oh,
okay.
So it's disputed between Charles, who is the 7th Napoleon. So he's called Prince Napoleon. Charles Prince Napoleon, the 7th, and then his son, who is disputed beyond. And his name is Jean Christophe Prince Napoleon the 8th, and they're both alive and well. So,
well, is there maybe something to be said about the fact that they haven't completely retired the name out of embarrassment?
Well, there, I suppose.
Yeah. Maybe they're into him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I reckon that he might not be held up on a pedestal too highly, but at the same time, I do think they'll probably be quite proud's the wrong word because of the destruction that he kind of caused. But I don't know. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they do.
Maybe it's just like
in a positive light.
Maybe it's just like Chives says, and he's just sort of viewed as a political, historical figure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the same way, I reckon the Henry VIII is viewed in our country because Henry
Right.
VIII.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
Good
comparison.
I mean?
Henry VIII was such a large character, like such an eventful life. They view the same thing with Napoleon, and you'll see people like Adolf Hitler is viewed in the same way in Germany.
Surely that's a bit different.
No, I don't know.
No.
I think that one's probably.
No,
I think the German. Yeah.
I'm talking about.
They have retired the name Adolf, I think so.
Yeah, what that's what I'm saying. I mean,
still get Henrys.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is like
we have
in
200
years' time, when another 200 years have elapsed,
with
regards to Hitler, you'll view Hitler in the same sort of way, where he's just a significant historical figure, even though as bad as he was. But like Henry VIII wasn't exactly a pleasant bloke as well. I mean, Did you see last year when the newly crowned? Well, he wasn't crowned at the time. King Charles was handed a leaky pen when he was signing the thing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if I don't think some of his predecessors would have been so amenable to be given a leaky pen. You actually saw it, Henry VIII for a leaky pen.
Yeah. They would have
last thing he ever did.
That clip went viral, didn't it?
Speaking of which, I absolutely loved the opening of this film. Opening on the beheading.
Yes.
Oh yes, it was a juicy start.
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Got me going.
Great slow-mo. Great slow-mo with her being kind of marched.
What are you doing, Chives?
I'm having a cigarette.
Oh.
Kids, if you're watching, it's not cool and it's not clever.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It was a very strong start.
I need to stand up.
Okay.
That's the slow-mo of her walking to her fate. You know, with the rotten fruit chucked at it like that. That was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
It's a fucking horrible way to go, isn't it? I mean,
oh yeah.
Although it's pretty quick.
There's something to be said for it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably worse ways to go.
Beheading without a guillotine, probably.
But yeah, it's funny how it's interesting, isn't it? How the guillotine became
the worst one I've seen in history.
Oh boy!
Is
the
brazen bull.
Oh, I've heard about this. This is horrendous.
The brazen bull is so it was. Do you know actually the first person to die in a brazen bull was the person who invented the brazen bull?
Yeah.
So this absolute mong went up to this emperor in Persia, created this new execution technique. Was like, oh right, brilliant, well done. Get in and demonstrate. And when this guy got in, they shut the door, and then basically it's made of brass. This bull. Yeah. It's called the Brazen Bull, and then they light a big fire underneath it, so it heats up. And then when the person screams inside because they're literally being roasted alive, out of the noise like a bull would make, that's what the pipes make. So your screams get turned into like a bull noise as you're dying.
Jesus.
Yeah, shit way to die. That.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I'd rather go to the guillotine.
All right.
Exactly.
Well.
Why did he? I mean, why did he get in? That's the question. If I was asked to get in this thing that I just created, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be getting in.
It'd be like, we'll get somebody else to demonstrate it. I'm better off standing aside.
Have you not got any
explaining it.
criminals lying around that could demonstrate?
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, the guillotine is very synonymous with French history, isn't it?
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think I've got any more major points to make.
Okay. Should we move on then?
Mm-hmm.
What were our favorite scenes from Napoleon?
Oh, there's some great ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right at it, boys. And that battle on the ice. I mean, that was
that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a great one. I might go with the kind of seat. What's the one where they stormed the walls and Napoleon climbed the ladder?
Siege of Toulon.
Yeah, I might go with the siege. I like a good old siege.
Okay.
That's what made him. Really.
Yeah. So I'll go with that.
Have you got one, Chives?
Yeah, I would say not just the Battle of Waterloo, but also the dynamic between the Duke of Wellington and Napoleon Bonaparte, because they were real foes then.
Yeah.
Good one.
That was very good. I think we're all just going to pick a battle each.
Well, they kind of stand out, don't they?
They do stand out, yeah.
I don't know, all the other stuff is sort of like, sort of gradual type stuff. So while I loved all the other stuff, and probably my favorite parts are, the relationship. I probably have to just go with what Joe's said, or if not that, then the bit where they do march to Moscow and then it gets burned down. I really liked that whole sequence as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, good shit.
All right.
Okay, out of 10, what are we giving it?
7.2.
7.2.
Whoa, 0.2.
Very specific.
I think. Okay, we'll allow it.
I think it's slightly more than a 7, but it's not good enough to be an 8. But then a 7.5
or a 7.5.
No,
that's fair.
Yeah, I'm thinking of somewhere between. I'm thinking of either 7.5 or 8, and maybe was going to go 7.5 for it. What did I give?
7.
What did I give Killers of the Flower Moon?
Christ, I can't remember.
I definitely liked it more than that.
Oh,
I'm going to go 8. I'm going to be generous.
It sounds like you. Yeah, it sounds like you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm going to go 8.
I'm going to go torn between a 6.5 and a 7. Do you know what? I'll go 7 because it was stunning. It was, yeah.
All right.
It was a true spectacle.
Pepster, did you say?
Yeah, no, I'll go 7. I'll join Jack with a 7, I think.
All right then. Good stuff. Right. Moving on from Napoleon then. I guess the only other thing there is to discuss is I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah.
Started once again, and we have not talked about it yet, even though it's been on for quite a while now.
Yeah, we usually do like a brief kind of overview once it starts. It's a shame Woody's not here, but he can give us his thoughts next week.
Yes.
I really am enjoying it. I mean, I do enjoy it every year. It's the one reality show that I always return to. Anton Decker just top notch, as we always say. But this year, I don't know. I feel like it's a stronger group than the last couple of years, I would say.
I agree with that.
Just in terms of how they're actually mixing, not just how do I? The way they're mixing with each other, like there's a bit more needle, a little bit more drama, and there's quite a lot of very contrasting personalities. Like Sam is at one end of the scale; he is just I don't know how you guys would deal with living with him, but I would not enjoy it.
What do you think of him? Because we were annoyed with him to start with. Or
He's okay. He's harmless.
Sam, you know, the little puppy dog guy.
He really is a puppy.
Yeah.
I guess it's the kind of thing that is good for that environment where you need a bit of a pick me up, but for me, it's a bit too much.
How do you find him, Chives?
He's all right. I mean, I was because my girlfriend she watches like she's like seen the movie the TV program what he's in, not Made in Chelsea, but the one about is
Essex, is it?
No, he's in Made in Chelsea, but it's like he's got ADHD.
Okay.
And so it's like Sam living with ADHD or something like that. And he apparently is like that in real life anyway. So it's,
I mean, I would have to assume so. There's no way he can keep that up for that long.
He brings good energy to the camp. I bet it's quite boring in there. But like, it's the other people that annoy me. I think today, if I may I say this point as well, I was going to say
yes.
Yeah,
so I think we've just seen another person leave, Jamie Lynn Spears. I think that just typifies where the world is going in 2023. Just with, it's almost like this desire to quit, as opposed to sort of like knuckle down and try and win.
Yeah.
Am I missing something here? I mean, how many people? How many
Yeah.
people are being recommended to go and see like the medic and stuff like that? I mean, these people all had full medical screenings because that's what 2023 requires you to happen. So everyone's all there, everyone's all clued up, everyone's physically able to be there. And
yeah,
I mean, sorry, I mean,
it does frustrate me.
Popular, it may be very popular, but it's almost like you see more and more people nowadays that look for an easy way out of things, and they don't actually look for a way to knuckle down and try and win the show. I mean, you're there because it's a massive audience, and there's obviously people are there for personal reasons. People there may just be for the money because they're skint and they're now a Z actor on the Z list, for example.
I feel you might be speculating a little bit now. We don't actually know like what was considered her medical reason for leaving, do we?
Well, see, this is the thing. I mean, what can you say and what can't you say? Do you know what I mean?
That's up to you.
Well, I suppose the camp will be a bit drier now with less tears in there. So
well, the thing is,
there was a lot of that at the beginning, but I do feel like she sort of came a bit good
a corner
and was getting better at and she wasn't crying for after a few days, wasn't she?
She perked up, and I thought she was actually quite decent. Like
I did,
quite a nice person, good personality. Like,
so I'm definitely disappointed that that's happened, and yes, I'll be extra disappointed if it is a bit of a
cop out.
a bit of a cop out, just a bit of a get me out of here kind of thing. But like, if she just wants to leave, she could just say she wants to leave, and like they wouldn't have to say anything about medical reasons, would they?
But that's where I think the thing is. I mean, is there really anything wrong with her, or is she just sort of like?
They might just be saying that. I don't know.
Well, why wouldn't she just say she doesn't want to be there and just leave?
Because she won't get paid.
Do they not get paid if they?
Well, I was about to ask this. I was about to ask.
Let's say how it is. I mean, if she's medically withdrawn, you're entitled to your full pay, surely.
Yeah.
I haven't considered that.
I've always wanted to know what the rule is of that. Like, do you have to stay until you're kicked out to get your full pay? Do you get it before you even go in? Like, when do you?
Well, this is where we're speculating, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's something in the contract that says
if you do.
Spencer Matthews, do you remember Spencer Matthews a couple of years ago?
It was like 2 days in.
2 days.
Yeah.
Kicked out after 2 days because he tested positive for an anabolic steroid.
Oh yeah.
Now something tells me that he's not going to get his full pay because he's failed a drugs test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess it does depend on the circumstance. But if you voluntarily leave the show after, let's just say 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, surely
you wouldn't get your full pay now. For that reason. But I don't know. Well, I don't know.
It's a shame. That's 2 people now.
They'd still be like the people in charge of the medical grounds thing. Then would be a bit on top of that then because they don't want.
But this is what I said. Everyone will get medically just a full medical assessment before they go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she's been like bitten by a snake or something.
Well, maybe
because they've got loads of rattlesnakes and stuff, king brown snakes rolling around in that part of the jungle because they wouldn't do
Sometimes
no
they
one
see
on
him.
set that looks after them like that. So,
I mean, it's a shame because they never get. Whenever someone does leave like this, you never hear Ant and Dec actually tell us why they. It'll just be a quick 10 seconds tonight.
No.
They'll just
Very
they'll
annoying
just
that they
say-
don't. Very annoying that they don't release
Yeah.
their medical information.
Well, no, but I just
No,
mean like
I don't think. I think
you know.
even if they left for personal, I don't see Ant and Dec saying so and so's left for personal reasons.
No. You're talking as though there's never a time when the people just go into that room and say, "I've had enough of this. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here." That's happened plenty of times.
Yeah.
That is
I
what
know.
the show
That's
is.
it. Who?
So
who's
loads
done
of
It
people.
has
That's
happened,
like
it has, yeah.
a basic like
that? I don't. God,
rule of the show.
I can't remember. I can't remember
can't
many people
remember.
doing that.
well, Anthony Roll
Doesn't- it
Thompson,
hasn't
quite a
happened
few
for a
years
while.
back, got them all to go into the Bus Telegraph and say, "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here," unless they got to speak to their agents. So it was
I
something to
don't
do with
remember
like food quantity that they were getting.
I think Gemma Collins did. I think Gemma Collins did that when she was on it, didn't she? She was there for like 2 days or something, and then she was like,
Oh,
"I
yeah.
can't take any more of this." And
Gemma
said,
Collins is the exact type of character who would quit after 2 days.
yeah, exactly.
And who did.
And she did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
from my memory,
The
if I'm wrong,
Newport
if I'm wrong about
that's
that, then
fine.
don't come for me. But
Can I just say-
from my memory, that wasn't a medical grounds thing.
Can I just say as well, like
But medical grounds can be mental health now, can't it?
yeah.
Yes, it can.
You know what I mean?
But it would well, it depends on. Yeah, but how severe would mental health problems need to be to get you like off this show? Like, there's got to be a line.
Be a crying, blubbing mess.
But then should have been taken out of
Thing
the
is,
medical grounds for the first episode, wouldn't she? So
The thing is with Jamie Lynn Spears, I'm a bit frustrated because I actually do think she was quite a good. She was quite. I wasn't annoyed at
She's
all
good.
when
She's good.
yeah,
Grace
I agree.
left. Grace was dull as dishwater.
I completely agree. I was more than happy to see the back of her.
Every time it was actually hilarious. Every time the camera was on her, she never made any other expression than just like
just a face like a smacked ass.
like she looked like she was dead.
She had a resting bitch face.
Yes, yeah.
She looked. She was white as a sheet, and actually, I can believe medical reasons for her because she did look unwell.
Well, yeah, that's
Um,
true. That's true. She did,
She looked white as a sheet, and
but she did before. So I don't know if that's.
well, yeah.
I
but
don't want to be
yeah.
mean,
but getting away from that, yeah.
I'd be more. I'm not. I is speculating, but I'd be more. I believe more that maybe she had a medical issue, and that's why she's left compared to Jamie Lee Spears. Let's just put it that way. But I may.
But, We're just getting away from those two. Like, who else?
This
we
is
really
all
enjoying?
speculation. We are not
This is all
making any.
speculation,
We're not
yeah.
making any statements here on Film Night Podcast. Of any offense taken to anything said here is to be ignored.
Yeah. So who are we enjoying? Who's
And
our favorite?
if you do take offence, it's absolutely intended. Don't worry.
Yeah, so who do you want to win then? Who's your favorite?
Oh, good question.
I'll tell you what, I really like Marvin.
He seems the most normal, kind of chilled. Oh no, actually, who I want to win is Tony.
Okay. Oh really? What is it about Tony that you?
I just think he's village. I think
He is a villager.
He's been a great addition, and I think he's funny, and so I think he's been a good.
That boxing lesson that you gave to Nella, that was funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say I want Nigel Farage to win.
Do you know what though, Matt? Are you not a bit surprised with how little? Like, he's not really involved, is he?
It's because he's scared shitless of probably saying what he thinks. I mean, he's had a go at Nella, but Nella is just the most
He's
irritating.
never really
individual.
scared of saying what he thinks.
He's not the type of person. He's not often scared to say what he
If there
thinks.
was if there was a caliber or certain type of personality who would be marching on the streets of London on Armistice Day, it would be Nella Rose from YouTube.
Right. We don't do politics here, Matt.
I agree that Nella is irritating. She's like a roller coaster, though. I really didn't like her. Then I thought she was funny, and now I don't like her again.
Yeah.
But could we just get?
I'm disappointed with her. I thought she was going to be a good character at the start, and yeah.
And can we all agree that it was highly uncalled for when she screamed at Fred for innocently?
That was insane.
That was unbelievable. It was just an innocent mistake.
That was something in which it would have been okay for her to have been sent off on medical grounds.
It's a turn of phrase. Everyone says that. Oh, I'm old enough to be your dad. It's just a phrase.
But even if she was offended, now offence is taken. If she's offended, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said that.
Fred went over and apologized for that. But the fact that she was so rude and obnoxious to him when that was the case just shows you the caliber of human being that you're dealing with there.
Agree.
And how physically just ultimately nasty under the surface that someone has to be, and how much for attention seeking and looking to live up to the cameras and just have as much airtime as possible just for being a prat on TV, essentially.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
she came across really badly with that whole thing.
Really badly.
And then when Nigel Farage was discussing about immigrants and stuff like that, I mean, the guy, people might not like him, people might not like, but
that was a very frustrating watch.
It was frustrating to watch because she just physically wasn't listening to anything he was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you if you're going to have a discussion and two people disagree, that's absolutely brilliant. It's great TV, but at least let one another finish.
Yeah.
She just, that's another example where she was just rude and obnoxious to someone who's older than her, who's got a lot more life experience. Fred Siru has got a lot more life experience than someone like Nella. And for her to just blow two of the most senior people off on national TV,
she wouldn't even consider the other side.
How can someone see her as a role model? How can people her own age, how can her peers see her as a role model?
A fellow YouTuber.
She's our role model.
But we're on there next year, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, they're letting YouTubers on. This could be your chance, mate, to go on.
No, I'm actually the doctor. I'm the consultant doctor next year as well. So I'll be the one pulling people out on medical grounds. So.
Oh my God. That'd be a sight to see.
Let's just take money out of it, because obviously if we were all offered $1.5 million, I think we'd all say yes. But even if money wasn't a factor, would you want to do it? I think I would.
If money wasn't a factor, no.
Well, then you've got to ask what the other factors would be. Would it be sort of like because you
for the challenge and for the experience?
That's pretty much the only other factor.
I'd like to see if I could. I'd like to see if I could handle it, or how well I would handle it.
No,
or would you do it to like? So I mean, if you're really wealthy, so Duncan Bannatyne, I think this is correct. Duncan Bannatyne is worth about £380 million.
He did it,
and he's in his late 60s. So when he appeared on it, I'm under the impression that he donated the whole of his appearance fee to charity. So he was there for charity. And because he was there, people asked him, "Oh, why are you on it? You don't need to be on it." Oh, well, I'm not really a fan of like snakes and stuff like that, but it also gives a lot of brand exposure to the charity I'm working for. So that'd be another reason why you do it. Which is admirable.
Yeah. We're getting away from the question a bit, but
that would be a reason, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but so if money weren't an object, would you go on the show? Like forget about charity as well. Let's take that out, because I don't think that was the point of your question, was it, Jack?
I'm not a massive fan of snakes and spiders, to be fair.
No, it wouldn't be easy at all. I'm not. I
suppose Jack's wondering is if you would want it for the challenge of it. I suppose.
Yeah, like would you be
challenge? Yeah, I'd do it for the challenge.
Okay.
I think the toughest thing for me I don't know. The trials are one thing, but just I mean, you must be so hungry. Like that's one thing
that's what I wouldn't like.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be for me. I wouldn't be up for it.
Okay. No. Okay. Yeah, but
and you know what? Jumping out of a plane or doing the high rise thing. I mean, that would be. And I know we were discussing.
I don't think the high rise thing is that bad. It's nowhere near as bad as jumping out of a plane for me.
Oh, see, but I'm not good with heights. I hate heights. So either of those just would not be good for me.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Is it? Yeah, it's a tough start, that, isn't it?
That's the thing. It's that's the start. So,
but the good thing about the plane jump is you've got no time to get scared, because 10 minutes later you're doing it.
No, but the good thing about the high-rise thing is that you're strapped to a harness the entire time, and there's absolutely
but it's
nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, okay.
I know, but
I'd like to see you do it after that.
Yeah, is that what we're doing at Stag Do?
Mate, I've done Go Ape. Same shit.
when no, Go Ape is not as high as that, and the wind. Did you hear
It's
that
not
wind?
it's not as high, but it's more
That
but
wind.
there's more like danger to it because you do have to unhook yourself and hook yourself onto shit. Whereas
that's
you're
true.
absolutely hooked in by professionals from the beginning, and you're in there for about 5 minutes on the high rise. I
agree that I'd rather do that than the skydive.
I don't think I'd have a problem with the high rise at all.
I think I'd do that. I'd prefer to do that than the jumping out of a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
what
Jack
about you,
said,
Matt?
like I
which
would
one are you
like
into?
to jump out of a plane to say you've done it. Like
to say you've done it.
I have that.
I would want to do that. You know,
sometimes think that would be good to do.
Yeah. And everyone always has the same reaction, even though they're so scared. Afterwards, they always say that was amazing.
Yeah.
And then again, I mean, if I was on a plane with Nella and I watched Nella jump out of the plane, I was like, well, I can't pussy out now, can I?
I thought you were going to.
now.
I thought you were
I was going in a different direction.
Yeah, if I was in a plane with Nella, even without a parachute, I'd just jump out.
I thought that's where it was going.
I'd rather jump out than be in a plane. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a really good group of people. And,
what is the challenge tonight? What is the Bush Tucker trial tonight?
I don't know. I'm behind. I haven't seen yesterday's yet.
Nigel's doing it with. Was it supposed to be Jamie Lynn?
It's Nigel and no, it wasn't Jamie Lynn. Nigel and someone.
Nella.
Right, well, I haven't seen yesterday.
Nick. Yeah.
Whatever. All right,
he's very quiet, isn't he, Nick?
Yeah, I was expecting a bit more from him. I think over the series.
Also, Frankie as well. Frankie's a bit quiet.
Yeah.
I guess you can't. There's so many people. It's hard to give airtime to everyone. Oh, I will say. You didn't see it, Richie, last night. But there was a trial last night that Nella did with Frankie. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. They didn't get a single coin.
Tough watch. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to watching that then.
Frankie shouted through a code, and all she had to do was put the code into the padlock. Okay, there's like 12 padlocks, but they had 10 minutes and they didn't get one.
She kept on skipping padlocks. She didn't just systematically go through each padlock.
Yeah, she kept jumping from one to the next. Like it was just really hard to watch. And Ant and Deck were genuinely like infuriated.
All right. Well, interesting. I mean, so we've said who we want to win. Pep, did you say who you want to win?
Well, you know what, boys? Confession: I've not been watching it for the last.
Oh yeah,
week,
shit. Sorry.
So
that's true.
I'm not really up on it. I've not watched it since.
Pep's just been away.
I've been away for a couple of days, and then I've been pretty busy the last couple of nights, so I've not even had a chance to sit down and watch it. I will tonight. If we get done by 9:00, I will sit down and watch it. But
just dive straight back in.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll
It'll be like you never left.
Okay, well, we've said who we want to win, but who do you think will win? Who do you think's likely to win? Because that's often very different to who we want to win.
I think Fred will win.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that.
I'll tell you who I could see winning, and I wouldn't mind it because she's so innocent. Josie.
Danielle. Oh, Josie.
Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah.
Josie. Yeah.
She's so genuine.
Actually, yeah, that's a very good shout because she's probably got the the mum type vote on her.
She's got the mum vote.
Can we just assess? I don't know. Was it the first or second episode when Nigel Farage was having a shower, completely bollock naked?
Yeah.
Man, I was on the floor crying. I
when Josie walked,
pale backside just under the waterfall.
Yeah, Josie on like day one saw Nigel Farage naked.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It must be so surreal. It must be so surreal.
Can you imagine? We saw it, Jack. We saw it too.
Yeah, but it must be like that must be when it hits you like, wow, this is
Yeah.
What a weird thing to just suddenly be in a situation where Nigel Farage is stood there naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see Josie winning. Danielle, she's a bit I don't know. Boring's the wrong word, but she doesn't say too much.
She doesn't get a lot of airtime.
Yeah.
Mm.
She seems nice, but
she does seem nice. I think she could go quite far, but it's also quite likely that she'll get voted out.
Yeah,
quick.
I'll tell you what I want to see more of that we're not getting much of at the moment is not is it still called Kiosk Keith? Kiosk Kev? What's it
Yeah,
called?
it's see more of that, don't we?
Kev's Deals on
Meals
Wheels
on
or
yeah.
whatever.
We've
Meals
only
on
had
Wheels,
like
whatever the fuck
two
it
of
is.
them.
Kiosk Keith, Kev's Meals on Wheels.
Kev's
Yeah.
Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
We've hardly had any. They used to be every single night.
Yeah. I wonder if
Moving away from it, maybe.
Kev might be booked up somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's got appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a
Yeah.
really good series.
Yes, I think so. And I'm enjoying it. And yeah, I think we're gonna all log off and start watching it
Yeah, what time is
after
it?
this.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
So yeah, are we leaving it there for I'm a Celeb talk for this week?
I'll tell you what, have you got any do the right movies up your sleeves that Chives can have a go at?
Oh, probably. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, Chives, we got a new little game where it's quick fire questions, and yeah, that's kind of it. But let's see if Richie's got any.
All right, fire away.
Okay. What is the greatest opening sequence in a film that you've seen? Greatest opening sequence in any film?
Ooh.
It will be
Saving Private Ryan's very good.
No, it will be
Ooh.
James Bond's Casino Royale.
That is,
Sebastian Foucan.
that is a great shout.
That is a brilliant answer.
When he
Wow,
was chasing Sebastian Foucan up the crane and stuff like that. I thought it was
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely amazing sequence. Yeah, wow.
That's a great answer.
I can't believe you had that right off the top of your head like that. That was so good.
And which was another? There was a more recent Bond that had a great when he goes into the helicopter. Was it
Spectre?
Spectre's? Was it Day of the Dead?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
That
a
was
great
good.
opening as well.
That was like
They're
the
all
only
good,
bit of
really.
that film we liked.
Yeah.
Was it Spectre?
with the
It
man.
is Spectre.
I think it was Spectre.
It
yeah.
was Spectre, yes, you're right. Yeah.
It wasn't Skyfall. No.
Yeah.
What's the first film that you've ever seen in a cinema?
Jesus.
Oh,
That's-
Anyone remember that far back?
I cannot remember.
I don't know. I'd be guessing. I don't know.
I think mine would have been A Bug's Life.
Oh, yeah,
Did
it'd
I
probably
see
be around that
Ants
time.
at the cinema?
Ants, the Woody Allen film.
I honestly can't remember. I'd be guessing. Oh no, it might have been Shrek actually.
Shrek, came out in like 2006.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
It'd probably be Toy Story or something like that, maybe, or I don't know.
Maybe the question. Maybe
It's not that high stakes. So you don't have to have an answer.
maybe the question is better put as saying earliest memory of being in a cinema.
Yeah. Okay. Earliest memory of being in the cinema.
Look at
None of your
his
business.
face. He's so unimpressed. Okay, next.
All right. I'll try and find a better one.
Find one that impresses Matthew, please.
Does it matter if I do ones that we've already done?
Okay, yeah.
Here's one that we haven't. What is the most moving film you've ever seen?
Ooh.
I can't imagine Matthew tearing up at anything.
Oh, I can.
I'm joking. I can.
The Vow.
The Vow. I don't know that one.
Who's in it? What's it about?
Rebecca McAdams or Rachel McAdams. And,
Rebecca McAdams.
Rachel McAdams and Channing Tatum. Basically, they're married couple, and then they're in a car crash, so that she forgets who he is when she wakes up from a coma.
I forgot that you like your rom films, your romance films.
He does, doesn't he?
What about Pitch Perfect? Is that not up there for you?
No, I'm too busy singing, so
Okay.
I'm too busy riffing off to myself.
Mate, give us a quick bar now. Come on.
Sorbet, 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 sorbet.
Very good.
What can I ask? What kind of taste in film does your girlfriend have? What films does she like to watch?
She likes rom-coms and she likes thrillers. We're going to the cinema again
So
on
does
Saturday.
you.
We're going to cinema on Saturday to watch Saltburn or Hunger Games.
I want to see Saltburn.
Okay.
Did you watch The Killer, Matt?
No.
Okay.
That was good. That one's on Netflix. Oh, here. This could be a good one. Name a film that when you watched it made you say, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
I'm thinking of ending things.
All right, all right.
any
Change the record, Joe. Curious.
Probably Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I
Hundreds
thought
of
you'd love that.
beavers.
No,
love-
I was
love
like,
deaths and gore.
no, because it was just I found it so because I remember watching it when I was about 10 or 11 years old. I
Oh,
watched it
Jesus.
where the guy ended up lying on the chainsaw, and then the leather man, he pulled the chainsaw up and it cut him completely in half. I was like, fuck that, I'm going to bed now.
I mean, yeah, 10 years old is quite young. I was traumatized by Jaws when I was about that age. Yeah.
When you were how old?
Similar age, too young,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. I've just got two more actually. I think finish off with these. Name a TV show that you would like to renew for one more season or series.
Friends.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Friends.
Or House of Cards with Kevin Spacey in it.
Okay.
I never watched that. Yeah, but it was...
redo the current last season of it.
Or Homeland. That was really good. Have you ever seen Homeland?
No, I didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch Homeland.
Homeland's my favourite series ever.
That's
Cool.
a good question, Richie.
And you got one, Jack? Or Joe?
I'm not a big TV guy, so definitely not Breaking Bad because that was perfect.
True.
I'm going to say Parks and Recreation.
Oh, okay.
That would be. I'd quite like a. I'm not going to say The Office, but I'd like a final. Well, an extra season of Parks and Rec. I reckon. I think it would be doable. That I think The Office different. I don't think you could do another season of The Office.
What about another series of The English Office? I guess we've sort of had that with the film.
Yeah. You could do one of the English Office. I think.
I don't know.
I think the American one, probably not.
No.
Okay, one more.
All right, last one. All right, what death in a film is seared into your brain?
Ooh.
So it's a film death that very much had an effect on you, I suppose, is a better way of putting it.
That flipping horse at the beginning of Napoleon.
Yeah. Have you got any less recent ones? That was a good one though.
One that always sticks out for me is Troy. You know when Tatan is killed with that spear.
I haven't seen it.
You know have you seen the film Troy?
No,
Not seen. Is that Brad Pitt?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, years ago.
Brad Pitt's character Achilles launches a spear and it takes out this captain of like the cavalry.
Okay.
From about 500 yards.
Wow.
And but in what way has it stayed with you? Was it moving? Was it shocking?
It was just shocking. It was just like such a great. You've never
such
seen
a great hit.
Spear throw like it. Yeah. So.
Cool.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I've got quite a village one in my head, which is Dylan Moran's character getting killed in Shaun of the Dead. The Irish bloke.
Yeah, that is gruesome.
I just remember when I watched that, I can't remember how old I was, but when I was watching that film, I just did not see that coming at all. And that really like fucked me up in my head.
Yeah,
like,
because
Jesus Christ.
It's done really well.
Yeah, he gets absolutely like ripped apart by the zombies.
Yeah, he gets dragged out of the pub. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of Winchester.
Fuck yeah.
That's a good shout. That was
Something from Jaws, perhaps, Jack?
Yeah, possibly. Well, you've just reminded me of another one from the Cornetto trilogy. In Hot Fuzz, when that poor soul is stood at the bottom of the church and the thing gets...
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is grim, that is so grim.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He carries on walking for a little bit as well.
Yeah.
That is a graphic one.
You must remember that one, Pepster.
Which film?
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
You know, with the church like pyre comes down on the guy's head.
Yeah.
Those films. I need to rewatch them. I do need to rewatch those ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Battery's gone on my camera.
Good timing.
Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty much at the end now, so okay. Yeah, that's all I've got really for that. So yeah, that was fun. Good idea, Jack. Cool. Well, yeah, I guess we'll just move on to say that please subscribe and like on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And yeah, thank you for watching and listening. Thank you very much for coming on, Chives.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Yeah,
Great
thanks,
to have
man.
you as always. And actually, it was really great to have you on with all your expertise.
Yeah,
Napoleon.
but they don't have to be historical epics. You know, you're always welcome.
Yeah, of course.
If there's ever a film out that maybe you want us to watch, and let's say if you see Saltburn and you think it's
put me down for Gladiator 2.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
get you on for that. We'll get you on.
You're
for
already
that.
penciled in for that. Yeah.
Gladiator is my favorite film ever.
Oh, excellent. That's great.
So, Gladiator 2, I'd like to do so.
Yeah,
but I'd like to think we'll get you on again before then.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. If there's any others, for example, we have Teppy wanting to come on
Wonka
shortly because he wants to see the new Wonka film. So
he's a fan of Willy Wonka.
He's a big fan of Willy Wonka, and he very much wants to review that with us.
He's out full of sweets, that's why. That bastard.
He's listening to this, by the way. He listens.
Oh
to
yeah,
this
he
all
listens.
the time.
He listens. Yeah.
Teppy, I'm so sorry. I'll see you at Christmas. I'll get you a beer at Christmas.
No, that'd be good.
Yeah. He also wants to do the new Chicken Run film. I haven't mentioned that to you boys yet, but
Really?
Well, hang on. New
4 years
Chicken
old.
Run.
New Chicken, yes.
And
Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nuggets. You don't know about this?
Is that coming out? No? I did not hear about this.
That's
That
coming
is
out
a good
very, very
title,
soon.
Dawn of the Nugget. I quite like that.
Oh,
It's
Chicken Run. I
coming
love
out at the
Chicken Run
same
as well.
time as the Wonka film.
I
So
love the first Chicken Run.
he wants us to do that as well.
Okay, maybe a little double episode.
It's basically
It's a Netflix one.
yeah.
Okay.
So we could do a double ep, couldn't we? Really?
Yeah, we could do, but
On
we could split them up and get more.
When
content
does
with
this
it.
go online?
I think it's like 8th of December or something like that.
We'll be doing a Christmas special as well shortly.
Probably. Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Lots to look forward to.
Yes. So yeah, thanks again for coming on, Chives. Great to have you as always.
Thanks,
and yeah, thanks again for listening. But other than that, unless anybody's got anything else they'd like to say, then I guess I'll say it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.